Hey folks, I got some weirdness going on with my chat window there, but hey, we're back. We're working on it's Monday. It's lunchtime. It's time for Martial Powers Monday. It's lunchtime. Give me it's time for a second here. It sounds like my signal's coming through. Okay. If you give me a moment here, hey, if you follow me on Twitter, I've just posted that I'm live on Twitter. So if you want to find out if I'm live in the future, you can follow me on Twitter at Phil Kearney. I'm going to boost my signal here real quick on Discord, and then we'll dive right on into it. So my name is Phil Kearney. I create content on the DMsGuild, producing alternate mechanical options, adventures, and stuff for people to play Dungeons and Dragons or other 5e stuff. So we've been, for the past 40 some odd episodes, we've been crafting an alternate magic system for martial characters that is called Martial Powers, and that you're spending mana to create different sort of effects that modify die rolls or damage or conditions that you can affect other creatures with around you. Give me a second. It looks like we're done there, and I'm going to have to do, I think, a window pop out chat. I think that's the only way we're going to be able, whatever glitch we got going on in our native stream chat window from OBS. Apparently it's not playing nice with the reality today. So here we are. Hi. Bam. Okay, cool. So let me get on into fixing our screens. If you check in the DMsGuild, if you check in the link down below, there's a link to DMsGuild. It's got these books, which is dealing with various spell point systems, which is what we have. This Martial Powers book that we're working on is also a modified spell point system for use with D&D. So be welcome to check that out. But otherwise, they're all 100% free preview. You can read all my books cover to cover. And if you decide that you think they're cool, then you are most welcome to make a purchase of however many of them that you plan on using, and it would be greatly appreciated. So, but yeah, cover to cover, that's how I roll. You should be able to read everything before you decide if you're going to buy it. If it's something you actually plan on using, then consider making a purchase. So this is the document we have. If you check in my Patreon link down below, there's a click through that talks about the Martial Powers project that we're developing, and it provides a link to a read-only Google Doc that we are currently, this is literally that Google Doc. It's got all, how many pages are we up to now? 46 pages of various powers, multi-classing options, variant class features, subclasses, martial progression system for mana, alternate infusion options, warlock invocation options, as well as all the clear rules for multi-classing between martial and normal casting classes. Then we get into the actual martial powers themselves, the 150 some odd different alternate spell options that we've created that are basically instantaneous or concentration enchantments that you can place on your characters to not be spellcasters, but kind of like with Magic the Gathering, that you've got creature cards that aren't necessarily, you got creature cards that if you spend mana, they can do things. And this is that same sort of thing. You can do things when you spend mana, not necessarily casting a spell. Like phase attack, you can make an attack roll against a target with less than full cover. You can ignore the cover and attack with advantage if you can see the target. That is an exploit. That is a 2 mana exploit, and like a 5th level ranger would have like 10 mana. So if you need to do that, that'd be a great shot. And you could purchase it down so it only costs 1 mana instead of 2, because we have meta power feats towards the end of this thing that lets you manipulate how you're spending your mana, or like when you spend your mana, you can change the damage type that you're using, kind of like meta magic feats, but they're meta power feats that allows you to manipulate the game side, that the player, the off table interaction with mechanics that your character doesn't necessarily know. I'm spending 3 mana and I'm using my meta magic, my meta power ability to channel necrotic damage instead of fire damage, for instance. The character wouldn't necessarily think like that, but that's the metadata, the off-the-table mechanics, as I refer to it, as things that eat up budget in your character's sheet and your abilities, but don't necessarily have a direct literal translation into game as to what's happening there. And I'm of the dark forces. I can channel necrotic energy. Maybe you're like a Rakdos red-black deck or something like that. So you're making a red-black assassin, and so you're channeling necrotic damage when you're doing sneak attacks and stuff like that. That may be how you build your character, but your character isn't thinking this is a metadata thing that I can do. They're just thinking I can channel necrotic damage when I hit somebody. Fair enough. So our task today, let's go look at our task list down here. And if this is your first time showing up, I stream damn near daily. Now I take Sunday off to spend time with family, but otherwise I'm pretty much on 6 days a week, either creating maps, illustrations, writing code, mechanics like this, or doing page layouts to build these PDFs that we then publish online. So I'm excited about this one. I'm anticipating this being being done and ready for edits, the first draft to be completed in February at some point. I need to set an alarm. So let's set my 20-minute timer so that I can keep on track with my day. There you go. I got about an hour. So I've sizzled my about time, which means I have an hour, which means I got 3 20-minute blocks. So coming up today, we're designing unique power gear examples, and we got the DM toolbox, building example creatures of ranks using martial powers. And then this week we'll be doing more cleanup on class language and more cleanup on the power language. And again, if you grab the playtest link off of my Patreon, you don't have to be a member of Patreon, though it's certainly appreciated. That's mostly there for a placeholder for when I actually do stuff with the Patreon account. But for now, you guys can just dive in and take a look at all this stuff. You can build a 20th level, anything from 1st to 20th level. You can run an entire campaign with all the content that's inside of here. You don't have to have full casters anywhere in your game if you don't want to. You could just trim those out completely if that's the kind of game you want to play. But all this stuff is available for you guys to take a look at. So let's see, what are we looking at? We're looking at gear. So here's what we've got in power gear so far. We got weapons, which channel strike powers. I'm going to get into the ranger, get out of the rogue, get all the variant class features. Let's see, what do I want to do? What I want to do is let's expand on this a little bit. Let's go with random gear generator. Let's go with items. We've got power stones. Weapons. What all we got? We could probably just do that. Power stones, weapons, and let's go with roll. Roll. Let's go with item type. discipline. Exploit, maneuver, reaction. Sustain. It's going to be what, 1 to 2, 3 to 4. Go with 8. That feels fun. Let's see. Miscellaneous gear, miscellaneous item. Sustainable gear. How do we want to do this? We got the sustained power gear, which is 1 to 4. That's the rarity of the sustained item. You got the rarity of miscellaneous power gear. Got mana crystals. What am I glitching on? What I'm actually glitching on right now is the Artificer. So that stuff only goes up to very rare. Common, uncommon, rare, very rare. It doesn't have any legendary gear. How do I want to do that? Because that's on curve with what the Artificer does, which means we have to have items that are of common rarity up through legendary. Let's look at that some more. Max rank. Common is first rank. Okay, that kind of infers that we have to have common throughout. Let's go to D&D Beyond. And let's look at magic items. Let's try that again. Star Coast Adventures Guide, Skag. Magic items, Word of the Dragon Queen, Source. There we go. Let's try that. Let's see. Let's go with, how do I want to build this out? We wanted to look at activating magic item, resilience, special features, random magic items. Bloop. Is there a table for this stuff? Thank you. Common. Bag of Holding. Uncommon. 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 Spell Scrolls common. Potions common. Common. Ammunition +1 is uncommon. 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 Are we already done with the common stuff? There's like barely any common stuff at all. Uncommon. Uncommon. Uncommon, 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 uncommon. I don't think we have it anymore. How do you find a list of common? Let's go with there we go. Common. Let's see what kind of stuff we got for commons. Reduces 0 hit points while attuned to the band of loyalty, you instantly die. This ring is favored by spies who can't afford to fall into enemy hands. That's horrible. Armor never gets dirty. Magic weapon attaches to your arm. Inseparable. Bonus action. Retract. More forged gear. Bead of nourishment. Spongy flavorless gelatinal bead dissolves in your tongue. Nourishment for 1 day. Let's go with false tracks. Wearing boots, you can choose to have them leave tracks like those of another kind of humanoid of your size. Just trying to get a fix for Boundless Coffee. Breathing bubble. Yeah. Came a little deep. At rank 3, your map case becomes a common magic item. Huh. What is that from? Acquisitions Inc., I bet? Ack Inc., yeah. They talk about ranks. Cast off armor, charlatan's die, chest of preserving. This common wonders magic item has the following magical properties: food and other perishable items do not age or decay. Stuff is all super utility. Cloak of Billowing, Cleansing Stone. Okay, let's check out the, actually, let's go to Artificer. Let's see what they have lined up for common gear under the Artificer. Let's see. Duplicate, replicate. There it is. Replicate magic item. Using this infusion, you replicate a particular magic item. Second level. No, okay. Alchemy is uncommon. 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 Okay. Uncommon. Also, uncommon got all this shit. It's just uncommon down the board. Weird. Okay, well, we don't have to follow these rules at all then. Yeah, rare or uncommon. That's literally all they have. So that's how it stacks out. That's cool. Okay, cool. That actually gives us a lot of freedom. We don't have to necessarily conform to what that has got going on. So we can go with uncommon. Rare. Very rare. Legendary. Actually, item rarity doesn't matter at all for the Artificer. Now that I'm really thinking about it, because we're just creating gear. No, actually it does matter. That does jive. I'm actually pretty happy with that now. Okay, cool. Now we got that locked down. Empowering stuff, multiple channels. So we got the Artificer results. We can go back down into our power listings. And then we can fix our face down here with the power gear. Uncommon, rare, very rare, legendary. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's perfect. I'm good with that. One, 2 plus 1. Uncommon, rare, rare. This is great. I'm happy with this. Uncommon, rare, very rare, legendary. That's fucking fantastic. Next rank. Miscellaneous power gear. Do I need to have something different for sustained? Sustained power gear. Items that channel locked effects. The rank of the sustained power doesn't count against your max channel limit. While attuned, object if the item is worn, it must be worn to channel. If the item can't be worn, it must be held. That's a channel. Exploit don't require specific actions. Maneuvers require an action or bonus action to trigger. Reactions are triggered by conditions as detailed in each description above. Trigger. Maneuvers. You can have only one locked effect active at a time this way, even if you're attuned. Okay, so sustained power gear are items that channel locked effects. Ooh, that channel locked effects. Interesting. The rank of the sustained power doesn't count against your max channel limit if you have the channeling, spellcasting, or pack magic feature. The thought process here, okay, there's two paths. There is just gear that grants you, that basically adds to your selection of powers that you can channel, but doesn't provide any mana for you. And then there's items that both provide a power to channel and it provides the mana to do so. We have power stones, which replenishes mana that you've lost, or you can use the power stone just to pay for a power that you're channeling. But there's a big difference between having like X amount of mana available to this item to channel per day before you have to start using your own battery versus you can always use this power, period. I don't know, slippers of Rogue Stance. While you're wearing these slippers, you have the ability to use a bonus action to dash disengage or hide, for instance. And it wouldn't cost you anything ever to use that power. But meanwhile, for the rest of us, it would cost 1 mana or 1 key to channel that ability. And then, so I can see items being kept cheap by forcing the. Okay, so if the argument that I'm having in my head right now is I'm keeping martial powers out of the hands of full casters unless the full caster is committing to multi-class levels into a class that can channel powers. So I'm debating how easy do I want to have. Like once you gain the channeling feature, you can use it. So that kind of resolves that. That is a standing gate that if you want to use any of this stuff, thank you. If you want to use any of this stuff, you have to have the channeling class feature, and all the classes that are provided in the supplement here, including the Warlock and the Artificer, have options for them. Well, the Artificer can't channel at all, but they can build gear that lets them use their own mana to power those infusions. And they could theoretically create infusions for other people to use. The Warlock is treated as when they use invocations to gain martial powers, they become channelers. But if they never choose a martial power, they're never a channeler. So they're always a spellcaster, but they opt into becoming a channeler by taking invocations that allow it. So that's a limitation. I think just the most stripped down easy model first is to just build out gear that requires you to spend your own mana. That's the easiest power curve I think we could have. And then from there we can potentially start building power gear that pays for itself. Like you could always use this tripping attack weapon that instead of having to burn a mana to try to trip somebody every time, it just automatically uses it automatically is fueled to like 1, 2, 3, or 5 points of mana. I think that would automatically be more expensive, a higher rank. Yeah, I think that feels right. Okay, I think we can parse this out. So, mana crystals, miscellaneous gear, and then power weapons. Miscellaneous gear should not be distinguishing between, there we go. We don't need to have sustain separated. All this shit requires attunement. I think I'm satisfied with that truth. Exploit gear don't require specific actions. Maneuver gear require an action or bonus action to trigger. Reaction gear can be triggered by specific conditions as detailed in each description above. Sustained gear are items that channel locked. That channel sustained effects. There's a limitation about locking limits. You can choose this power sustained as a bonus action. If a sustainable power gear is attuned to a creature that can channel powers, you can choose to lock or maintain. Sustained gears, items that channel sustained effects. You know? I'm considering my next move. The rank of the sustained power doesn't count against your max channel limit if you... Okay, sustained... Sustained gear require... Sustained gear require an action or bonus action to trigger. What's the... Oh, okay. That's a thing. We can do mana it can hold, and the amount it currently holds is determined by the rarity of the crystal possessed. Total mana, current mana, you can attune to multiple mana crystals in your possession. We've got mana crystals. We can probably do it that way. Let's go with trying to make things make sense. Oh, that's what we could do. It could just automatically have the minimum effect active whenever you use it. So like if it's an uncommon, say an uncommon strike, it will always spend 1 point of mana because that's the rank that it's at. But if your character is capable of it's free mana every time you use it, so it can be used at will, which and then the okay, let's check that out. Hold on. LeFou, I'm afraid I've been thinking. It's a dangerous pastime, I know. Let's just go look at instead. Let's modify. Advanced filters, please. Source, weapon type, armor type, conditions, attack spells. Jeez, crow. Whatever, dude. Let's just give me a fucking sword, huh? Can't just have one, huh? Fine, let's go with long sword. Maybe there's long swords. Let's try that. There, let's see what kind of results we get here. Explorer's Guide, fuck off. Arm blade. It's a magic weapon, that's it. Blade of Avernus. Artifacts, Fufus. Fine, dancing sword. That's at least something I recognize. Very rare, requires attunements, any sword. You can use a bonus action to toss this magic sword into the air and speak the command word. When you do so, the sword begins to hover, flies up to 30 feet, and attacks one creature of your choice within 5 feet of it. The sword uses your attack roll and ability score modifier to damage rolls. While the sword hovers, you can use a bonus action to fly. After the hovering sword attacks for the 4th time, it flies up to 30 feet and tries to return to your hand. If there are no hands free, it falls to the ground. Okay, that does no extra damage. So what about... fine, let's get Dawnbringer. Legendary. How about Dragon Slayer? Rare. +1. 3d6. Uncommon rare, very rare. It's 3d6. Extra 3d6. Okay, rare is 3d6. Let's see what this is. Very rare. Resistance to fire. Sheds bright light. Extra d6. Extinguish non-magical flame. Giant Slayer, rare. 1, 2. Extra 2d6 damage. Plus a kicker. Okay. Luck Blade, legendary. Mind Blade, rare. Into a Mind Blade on one attack. Volo's Guide to monsters. Yeah, sure. Extra 2d6 psychic damage. There you go. So it's basically a d6. Okay. So, how do we want to do that? Okay, so let's do this. Any item can hold power for maneuver, reaction, or sustained disciplines. Each power an item held attuned. The wielder has the channeling class feature. They can spend mana to use the item. Additional times. Attune creatures with the channeling class feature. Wow. Let's see. Each. Let's see. Each item how to say? Let's see. Each item. Each power channels is channeled. Each power is channeled. With the each power is channeled with the each power is channeled with the minimum. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that when you use a power, it's going to use the amount of mana equal to the rank of the power it's channeling. Each item. That would be each power uses an amount of each power. Creature has a channeling class feature. They can spend mana. They can spend item additional times. How do I word this shit? Each power an item holds can be used a number. long rest. The amount of mana used when channeling a power. The amount of mana used when channeling a power is equal to the rank of the item, as indicated by its rarity. Any rank mana. Attuned creatures with a attuned characters with a rank higher than the item's rarity up to the max channel limit. There we go. For example, a 13th level character with 4 that can channel 4 ranks, can channel up to 4 ranks, that is using an uncommon item to channel and exploit can can spend up to 4 mana. If the item hasn't one point of mana is provided by the item. The creature would only spend 3 mana. If the item has no uses left, the creature can spend up to 4 mana. Item and the creature can spend up to 3 more mana, up to 3 more. Its mana pool. Just checking my shit here real quick. All right. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, that feels pretty straightforward. Those the same. Meh. Mana crystals, miscellaneous power gear. How to do this? Items can hold power, exploits, maneuver reactions, or sustain disciplines. I'll just power gear. Let's see. Any item that holds a power from the exploit, maneuver, reaction, strike, or sustain disciplines. Each power an item holds can be used. So you got mana crystals and power gear. I'm good with that. Power gear is a general category. Each power an item holds can be used a number of times per long rest equal to the attuned creature's proficiency modifier. If the attuned creature has the channeling class feature, they can spend mana to use the item additional times. The amount of mana used when channeling a power is equal to the rank of the item as indicated by the rarity. Rarity, rank, mana. Rank. Cool. Attuned creatures with a rank higher than the item's rarity can channel additional mana up to the max channel limit. For example, a 13th level character that can channel up to 4 ranks using an uncommon item to channel using uncommon. Yeah, we'll leave that. An uncommon item to channel an exploit can spend up to 4 mana. If the item has uses left, 1 point of mana is provided by the item. For example, this is a better way of putting it. For example, an uncommon provides 1 point of mana for each use of the item per long rest. A 13th level character that can channel up to 4 ranks using this item can spend up to 4 mana. If the item has uses left, 1 point of mana is provided by the item, and the creature can spend up to 3 more mana from its mana pool. If the item has no uses left, the creature can spend up to 4. Up to 4 mana. Maybe that works. Okay, great. That simplified that. So now we have power gear. So we have mana crystals and we have power gear. And then from power gear, we have miscellaneous objects. And weapons. Boop, boop. Mana crystals, power gear, MOP, cool. And then inside of power gear can be any item. Miscellaneous, there we go. Miscellaneous power gear. Miscellaneous power gear can be any item. Channel its power, period. Maneuver gear, reaction, sustain gear requires an action or bonus action to trigger. I need to say anything specific about any of this stuff. No, not really. Oh, that's easy enough. Gear requires sustained gear require gear requires an action or bonus action to trigger. Hopefully that's not too clunky. It's at least a good starting spot. That basically you're just adding on a power like this, and it has limited payment, and you're not going to be getting these higher rank powers until you get to higher rarity magic items. Like around like level 9, you can expect to start getting rare items. By level 13, you can expect to be getting very rare items, and then legendary stuff by like around level 16, 17, something around there. So yeah, you should always be outpacing the rank of the gear that's provided to you, unless the DM is being particularly generous. So the sustained limit, channel limit, should never be a problem if the DM is parsing out magic gear or power gear as appropriate for the level of the character. But oh, itchy bits. Hold on. Like an early level power stone goes a long way to help buffing up the mana of, like, say a first or second level rogue. It takes them from 1 or 2 mana to like 4, which is pretty damn good considering none of their class features have kicked in at 3rd level yet. So giving a character a low level power stone, if they're one of the true martial classes, actually isn't a bad idea. Let's see. So I think I'm pretty happy with how those max rank. I don't need that table anymore, so get rid of that. Got power weapons. We got miscellaneous gear and we got power weapons. Channeling class feature to attune. Nope, just requires attunement. We don't have to have that power feature, but the power feature is a kicker, like we described. Mana pool class feature to attune does make sense, and the crystals can be used either by martial power class, channeling classes, or spellcasting classes alike. It doesn't really matter. Or bat classes, for instance. Requires attunement. That makes sense. And then requires attunement. Weapons can be enchanted with strike powers. Power weapons have enchantment bonuses as determined by the rarity of the item. Rarity: uncommon, rare, very rare, legendary, cool. If a creature, there's an asterisk there. If a character that can channel powers attunes to a power weapon, they can channel the weapon's strike power by spending an amount of mana equal to the rank. Okay, great. Blah, blah, blah. Wait, let's see. Can be combined. The strike powers enchanted in a power weapon can be combined with other strike powers the creature knows, or can be combined with other strike powers, period. I'm on my last 20 minutes already. Holy crap. So we'll kick out of here in just a little bit. The strike power is enchanted in a power weapon. The strike power is enchanted in a power weapon can be combined with other strike powers as detailed in the as detailed above. Oh yeah, other comment. Power gear. Power gear is any item that holds a power from the exploit, maneuver, reaction, strike, or sustained discipline. Each power an item holds can be used a number of times per long rest equal to the attuned creature's proficiency modifier. If the attuned creature has the channeling class feature, they can spend mana to use item additional times per day. The amount of mana used when channeling a power is equal to if a power there it is. If using a power includes rolling power dice, we can word it differently. Power dice rolled when using power dice rolled when using a item enchanted with power dice rolled when using an item enchanted with when using an enchanted item. Power dice rolled when using an enchanted weapon is always a d6 unless the creature using the item is a high enough rank channeler to roll a larger die size. In this case, use power dice rolled when using an enchantment item is always a d6 unless the creature using the item is a high enough rank to have to roll a larger die. The attuned creature has a channeling class feature. They can spend mana to use the item additional times. Let's do it that way. For example, an uncommon item provides 1 mana of each for each use of the item per long rest. Rolling a d6 for each power die used. A 13th level character that can channel a 13th level character that can channel up to 4 ranks using this item can spend up to 4 mana to roll 4d8 power dice. The item has uses left. 1 point of mana is provided by the item, and the creature can spend 3 more mana from its own pool. If the item has no uses left, the creature must spend at least 1 mana from the pool to use the item, up to a maximum of 4 mana. There, that's clear as mud. So we got the power dice resolved, sustained power resolved, power weapon. What weapons can be enchanted with strike powers. Power weapons have enchantment bonuses that's determined by the rarity of the object. The strike power enchanted in a power weapon can be combined with other strike powers as detailed above. If the combined with the strike enchanted with the they can be combined with the strike powers enchanted in a power weapon up to the max channel limit of the attuned creature, if any, as detailed above. Period. Nice. Okay, great. I think we got a good scaffold here that we're building. So I think that lays out just the bare minimums. Power gear, mana crystal. Power gear. Power gear is any item that holds a power from the exploit. Each power an item hold can be used a number of times. The amount of mana. The maximum rank of the power enchanted in the item is listed by rarity on the table below, period. Each item holds can be used a number of times. The amount of mana used when channeling limit a power is equal to the rank of the item as indicated. Period. I'm looking at how I'm stacking the order of information. Power dice rolled when using an enchantment is always a d6 unless the creature using the item is a higher rank. There we go. Okay, great. I think that's the most logical progression of spelling out the caveats and rules behind behind power gear in general. I think that covers all the bases. Excuse me. What a hiccup. Miscellaneous gear, power weapons, mana crystal, mana crystals, miscellaneous power gear, power weapons. Cool. That synced. The action is sustained. 1 to 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 3, 6, 7. Reaction sustained. Okay, that works. So random gear, items, rank, roll. Rarity. Uncommon. There it is, power weapons. Rarity makes sense, and then what type of item makes sense after the rarity level. And then since there's only one type of mana crystal, then going into miscellaneous gear makes sense. And then power weapon makes sense. Is that a thing? Is battle axe a thing? I don't even remember. Weapons. Thank you. Hand axe. Yeah, battle axe. That's a thing. Maybe we can break this down further. All right, let's see what we're gonna come up with here. A net, sure, net. Why not? One, two, three, 4 to 5, 6 to 10. Seven, 8, 9, 10, 11. 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that feels right. What else you got? What you got? Simple ranged. Light, dart, short bow, six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Cool. Marshall Malee. Battle Axe. Man, I wonder if there's information on DMsGuild, or not DMsGuild, but from D&D Beyond about weapon preference. Great Axe. About what weapons are picked most often to help affect the likelihood of what type of weapon as given by the popularity of it on the guild. There's a lot of weapons that just aren't very different. Just a bunch of garbage entries. All right, sword, trident, war pick, war hammer, whip. Club, dagger, great club, hand axe, javelin, weird, light, hammer. Isn't javelin listed under simple range weapons? Oh no, because it's not a ranged weapon. It's a thrown weapon. That makes sense. Light hammer, mace, quarter staff, sickle, spear. All right, my dudes, that is the end of the time that we have available today. So we've made some progress here. We are going to continue this effort of creating our tables and then seeing how fun is it to random up some rolls on them when we jump back into this next week. So I'm gonna make these 12. 12. 12. 12. I'm going for the completion because OCD. Sure. Okay, we'll figure out specific stats on this when we come back. But that is it for the day. I gotta go. More of this to come, guys. I'm gonna be back. I'm actually gonna be back in 6 hours for us to continue with martial powers. So catch up with me then. And I'm looking forward to us getting into more business. So we're going to do Spelljammer ship illustrations tonight. So catch up with about 6 hours, and I'll see you guys then. Cheers.